here is something that we have been doing because there is a limit to how far you can buy down. And the third thing that we have been doing is we have been asking sellers to pay some discount points for the buyer. And so what does that do in addition to the buyer buying down the rate?
Well, that certainly expands a lot of potential there to really decrease that interest rate. So if we take that two points that the buyer can contribute towards, okay, and that gets into that qualified mortgage, we stay there, we're safe. Now we get into what's called allowable seller concessions. And depending on what your loan to value, how much you put down as far as your down payment on the property, that decides how much the seller can put in. So with that in mind, then though, they could do, say, 3%. So now we have the 2% from the buyer, the 3% from the seller, for a combined 5% towards lowering your interest rate. So 5 points for a buy down for discount points is super aggressive. You could never do that on your own as a buyer. Can't do that on a refinance. You can't leverage a seller. So this is where doing this on a purchase is a really great thing.
And then what if rates don't go down as fast as we thought they were going to? And what if they don't go down as much as we thought they were going to? Well, here's a situation where you can pay a little bit more at closing yourself by saving a few $1,000s more. And then you can also ask the seller to help pay your discount points. And so you could actually have a payment that you're okay with now. Maybe it's not going to be 5% or 4% interest, but it's a payment that you can live with and survive with if you have to keep it for more than a year or two.
And I think the key thing to remember on this is that you're doing this on a purchase. Because again, when you get to a refinance, you don't have a seller to leverage. So any regulations, any guidelines we have to adhere to, it's all within yourself and the constraints of just being the homeowner and not having a seller concession. In other words, that is part of that.
Yeah, this is your opportunity to have a seller help you in the sale of their home by buying your discount points for you.
And I can say this, typically speaking, if we get close to a 5-point buy down, which means 2% from buyer typically, 3% from seller, we're usually swinging the interest rate by 2%. So if your respective par is at 7.5 again, now we've got you down to 5.5% on that 30-year note.
What do you think about that? Can you imagine getting 5.5% in this market? Isn't that enough to make you consider actually going out and buying a house now?
It's what you have to do.
So there you have it. Our tips for you today are work on your credit score, save up as much cash as you can, and then once you're pre-approved and ready to go, let's talk about the strategy and how we can get a seller to help you purchase discount points. So what you need to do is you need to look in the YouTube description below. I'm going to have Chad Bratton's website, and you can get in touch with him, apply online, and he will be happy to discuss all your options. Anything else?
I think that's it. I think you've covered it. Call me. Make sure you don't self-diagnose like everybody does on WebMD. So you get that application, and we'll look at it together.
All right. Come back next week. I'm going to talk more about real estate and how summertime hasn't really slowed down any here in Oklahoma City. See you later.